All right, what's up guys? Today we are going to be discussing knee knocker wheelies. These are fun. I already have kind of another shorter video going over the comparison between like a knee knocker wheelie and I believe we did sit down wheelies. So knee knocker wheelies are one of my favorite because I feel like personally on my FZ07 over here, they are a whole lot easier to control. You can see over the bike. So we'll kind of talk about the pros and cons. We're also going to go outside immediately on the FZ07 and show you some knee knockers first person view so you can see what they look like at balance point and things like that. But the knee knocker wheelie essentially is, let me try to give you an example here with CBR, is essentially when you're doing a wheelie, instead of sitting on the bike, what you're going to be doing is putting your knee essentially right here or on the seat. Your foot's going to kind of be hanging off the back of the motorcycle somewhere over here, and obviously you'll still be holding onto the bars, but instead of sitting or staying on the pegs, you'll have your knee right here or back here. Sorry, trying to get in focus there, but somewhere around right here, right? So that's kind of how a knee knocker works. You're going to use your knee as your main point of stability and your main point of connection to the motorcycle. So that's what a knee knocker wheelie is. The pros of a knee knocker wheelie is, like I had already discussed, is you can see over the bike much easier, which is huge, especially when you're learning. But it's always not a bad idea to learn sit downs first. Obviously guys, per usual, always remember your rear brake is extremely important. So if you are going to move on to knee knocker wheelies, just make sure you know how to use your rear brake so you don't go up and over. We don't want that. But the pros, big pros, is you can see over your bike, depending on your style, it can be, this isn't for everybody, keep in mind, but it can be easier to control because it's a little easier to manipulate your weight on the bike when you're in a knee knocker, so that's something to keep in mind. Seeing over your bike is huge though. I'm trying to think if there's really any cons that I have dealt with knee knocker wheelies. There's really not many in my opinion. I guess a small con we'll put over here, it could be a little bit, again, depends on the rider, but I'm just trying to think of myself. Every now and then it can be a little bit uncomfortable, or you can have a lot of stress on your knee depending on how you're sitting on the bike. So that can be a con, but a lot of different positions in wheelies can have that same exact con. So huge pros, you can see over the bike, a little easier to control, but really focus on seeing over the bike, which is huge. We're gonna go out on the FZ. I'm gonna show you another thing for knee knocker wheelies. This is a stunt seat that I have for my FZ07. It was actually done by Top Stitch. This is a stock FZ07 passenger seat, and I got the tandem style cut through stunt seat. So you can actually do a knee knocker and put your foot in here. This is your passenger seat. So this is cool. I don't currently have it on the bike. I swap back and forth, but it's a cool option to have to put your foot in the rear seat while you're, especially doing knee knockers and things like that, because it locks your foot in. So that's huge. So really quick, if you guys want 10% off a Cardo Pack Talk of any sort and you ride and listen to music XYZ, right here, School of Wheelie, 10% off, cardosystems.com. I have the Cardo Pack Talk Edge. I love it. I'll never go to anything else. Also, I have an entire wheelie course in the description if you want to learn how to wheelie from the ground up and be able to pretty much balance point, slow your wheelies down, really do anything you want in a wheelie. It's an incredible in-depth course in the description. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. It's there for you, and we are going to hop out in the FZ07. On a private road, we have permission to do wheelies on in full gear. We're going to gear up, fire the bike up, and go show you guys some knee knocker balance point wheelies. So let's get it. All right, we are out here on the 2015 Yamaha FZ07. Today we are discussing knee knocker wheelies like we had just talked about. We're kind of just going to dive right into it. It's a pretty straightforward concept. I mean, you are using your knee, like we talked about as well, as your main point of stability. So before we fire the bike up, like I said, this is kind of where your knee is going to sit depending on the bike, or for me on my FZ, I actually kind of keep it right here in this general area there. And your right leg / foot, per usual, is going to always be on your rear foot brake down here. So knee, for me at least on my FZ, somewhere right there if you can see it. And for steering the wheelie, I will be moving my knee around kind of like this, left and right, just to kind of shift my weight. But my knee is going to always be staying somewhere right around there. So instead of a sit down where all your weight's on your butt, it's going to be on your knee. So that's kind of the general setup. Like I said, depending on your bike, if you're on a sport bike, FZ07, a Grom even, right? Things like that, it's going to be a little bit different, just depends. But per usual, your rear foot brake is going to be the most important. We are in second gear right now, going about 18 miles an hour. Tap that foot brake, make sure it's working before we pop it up. And this is what your knee knocker wheel is going to look like. We are at balance point, kind of going back and forth between behind balance point, like right here, and then at balance point, which is around here, below balance point, which is here, and here comes a bump. Oh yeah. And then like kind of back up here again. So we're just back and forth between modulating the throttle on and off the brake. But this is what it looks like, knee knocker wheelie, right? So most of my pressure's on my knee. You can obviously, you're gonna always have some pressure in your handlebars with your hands, but your knee is mostly at work here with the knee knockers, which obviously makes a lot of sense given the name. So we're gonna turn around again, give you another one here. You can do them kind of in any gear you're comfortable with. You wanna make sure you're comfortable with your foot brake, but here we go. I'm going about the same miles per hour, right? Knee, you can see my position there. It's a little farther up than I had told you guys. It's closer to the center of the seat, but by the time I pop my wheel up, my knee kind of rests back on that back passenger seat, especially on the FZ07. So tap the rear brake, feel it out. We're going 17, second gear, balance point right there. See, right now this road is pulling to the right, kind of heavy with the grade. So I don't know if you can tell based on the first person view, but now my body is really far to the left to keep it going straight, right? That's another important thing with wheelies is your body position. But yeah, knee knocker wheelie. I mean, this is pretty much it. I love it because you can see so far in front of you and over the bike. You don't have to lean around the bike like in a sit down to see where you're going. You can lean forward. You can lean way back like this, right? I mean, there's so much you can do in knee knockers. To me, it's just easier to manipulate and move my body weight and the bike around while I'm doing a wheelie. So I really, really love them. We'll even do a slow one here for you guys. We're going like, I don't know, 10 maybe, something like that. Yeah, about 10 miles per hour, first gear. Pop it up. This is like a slower knee knocker right here. My foot is just kind of hanging off the back of the fairing just a tiny bit. All my pressure is currently on my knee. Let's try to slow this down, bring us behind balance point, straighten us out. Oh, kind of falling everywhere, but see, this is the beauty of a knee knocker is I can just move my body, my knee, my feet, my leg, everything. Instead of being like super locked in, as in like a sit down goes, I'm shifting my leg constantly. So this is an example of a slower one, like I said. And since we got past that bump, we can probably even slow it down more, honestly. There we go. But if you guys really want to dive into wheelies and learning them from the ground up, I have a wheelie course in the description. Like I said, check it out. It'll teach you quickly. You'll be doing these type of wheelies before you know it. But knee knockers, guys, one of my favorite. This is what they look like. See the cluster, the body position, slowing down, up and down, you know, all that fun stuff. But thanks for watching the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next lesson.